Hey everyone, my name is Jesse Apodaca, and today I'm going to be taking you on a fascinating journey into the psychology and neuroscience of stress, self-compassion, and the mind-body connection in nursing students. We'll explore how difficulties in emotion regulation can actually show up as physical symptoms, a process called somatization, and why being kind to yourself isn't just nice, it's neurologically smart. Let's begin. The study I'm presenting was conducted by Servik Mersin, Irim Kus, and Nese Merkin from Psychiatric Nursing Department at Belecik Seth İdibal University in Turkey. These are Turkish authors. So what's the study really about? Well, nursing students face intense emotional pressure and physical stress from exams, clinic rotations, patient suffering, and long hours. This study really just explored three key concepts: emotion regulation, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions; self-compassion, which is treating yourself kindly during stress instead of harshly judging yourself; and somatization, which is where stress and emotional difficulties can actually manifest into physical symptoms like headaches, nausea, and muscle tension. The big question here is, can self-compassion help students regulate emotions and reduce stress-related physical symptoms? So here's how the researchers studied this. The participants, 351 nursing students in Turkey, and the tools used were the DERS-16, which measures difficulties in emotional regulation. They used the self-compassion scale, which measures how kind you are to yourself under stress, and the somatization scale, which measures stress-related physical symptoms. The design of this survey was correlational cross-sectional survey, and the data collection was face-to-face questionnaires in classrooms, and the participation of the survey was completely voluntary. This means the researchers looked for relationships between these variables, but not cause and effect. That's the important part. They wanted to see how students, self-compassion and emotion regulation relate to physical stress symptoms. Now for the results, and this is where it gets interesting. Um, More difficulties in emotional regulation lead to more somatization, which is stress turning into physical symptoms. Higher self-compassion leads to fewer emotional regulation difficulties. Being kind to yourself actually helps manage your emotions within your brain. Higher self-compassion also leads to lower somatization. So again, being kind to yourself literally reduces physical symptoms. Emotional regulation involves the prefrontal cortex, which helps you control impulses and think rationally about stress. Somatization involves the insula and the anterior cingulate cortex, the areas that process bodily sensations and pain. High self-compassion activates the ventromedial prefrontal cortex and dampens the amygdala, reducing stress reactivity. So when students practice self-compassion, they found that their brains literally react differently to stress, reducing the likelihood of stress showing up as physical symptoms. Now, this study has several strengths. I mean, the publication was very recent, 2025, very up to date. The sample size was pretty good. It was 351 students, which is well meaningful enough to make it a great analysis. And the validated scales of the DERS-16 self-compassion scale and the somatization scale are reliable and widely used. However, there are also many limitations. So, only nursing students in Turkey, the reason why this is important because the results aren't generalized to other countries or cultures. This was also only taken at a single university in Turkey, so there's way less diversity in experiences with students. There was no race or ethnic data, so we can't see how different cultures manage stress and emotional regulation. This was also self-report data, so students might answer in ways that they find socially acceptable, in the classroom setting. Also, no control group was included, so we can't compare nursing students to other students to manage stress. So what does this all mean? Well, self-compassion isn't like about feeling good. It literally rewires your brain for resilience. Nursing students and really all of us can benefit in training in emotional regulation and self-compassion. Uh, Programs and practices like mindfulness, meditation, self-compassion, being around people you love can improve not only your mental health, but your physical health, as we've seen through these nursing students. Next time you're stressed, instead of just, criticizing yourself, try saying it's okay. I'm a human. I'll handle this, and your brain will thank you later, and so will your body. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you guys for listening.